That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. Couldn't do it.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B., and of course, Just Jack Flat Earth.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Alrighty. Praise Yah Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and my disclaimer, and then we'll get into it. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then the stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe the truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then the stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for root words as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins to show how religions contradict the scriptures. All right, there we go. And this is, as another disclaimer, this is the last speech of Moshe before they cross over the Yarden. And for those of you who are new to this, it's Moses crossing over the Jordan. So it's kind of like a summary of the previous instructions that were given to Moshe. And so it's sporadic. The thread of the conversation goes all over the place, pretty much. Like, oh, one more thing,
Mm-hmm.
Well, since we're talking about this, it reminds me of that. And you can tell it's not as structured as when the instructions were given. In this case, we're talking about the instructions of wartime, going to war, what's the requirements of being able to go to war, and so on and so forth. And last time we were talking about cities of refuge, where it's like if you accidentally kill someone, you need somewhere to go. And then if you are found out to have purposely laid in wait to kill someone, then you're taken out of the city of refuge and your justice is served. And it also talks about how you can't just have one witness, because somebody could have a grudge against you and bear false witness, say, I saw that guy kill somebody, in order for you to feel that you get your own justice outside of true justice. And if you're found out, then the punishment for the crime that you're accusing someone of goes to you. You get the punishment if you falsely accuse somebody else. So now we're in, like I said, this is about going to warfare. So we can get started whenever you're ready.
All right. When you go out to battle against your enemies and shall see horses and chariots and people more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them, for Yehovah your Elohim, who brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim, is with you.
Right. And we had read like not that long ago, a couple of chapters ago, where it was reiterated that we're not to go back to Mitzrayim to get horses, because horses are animals of war. And this is talking about when you go out to battle against your enemies. There actually was this thing for many, many generations, that there is a time for kings to go to war. Like there's a specific time during the year that it's like, okay, it's wartime. And kings would, go and try to conquer lands. And verse 2.
And it shall be, when you draw near to the battle, that the priest shall come and speak to the people.
Okay.
And
this battle is the same root word as bread, lechem, which means to tear apart. So when you draw near to the tearing apart, right? Verse 3.
And shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, you are drawing near today to battle with your enemies. Do not let your heart faint. Do not fear or tremble or be afraid before them.
Okay, and that's a common thread throughout the scriptures. Fear not, right? Because fear will not just change your attitude, but it changes the environment around you. It causes a conflict between you and what's supposed to be happening because you can't connect the way you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
4.
For Yehovah your Elohim is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you.
Okay.
And the officers shall speak to the people, saying, Who is the man who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man dedicate it.
Okay, so let's say a man made a purchase deal for a home and he has not established it, dedicated it, meaning he hasn't moved his stuff into it. Um, that's a good enough reason to not go to war. There's lots of these where I've known people who have a perspective on the beginning of scriptures and think that the first God is a tyrant God, a God of war, yada 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 yada. But there's very much specifics on the very few people that are even eligible to go to war because, as we've seen in the past, when they're in line with the Creator, going to war is simply showing up in some cases where, he ends up creating strife between your enemies so that they're fighting against each other, or somehow they just, get wiped out on their own. Um, but yeah, this officers, I wanted to point out this one. Officers is this one that's a ruler of a domain. So, verse 6.
And who is the man who has planted a vineyard and has not begun to use it? Let him also go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man should begin to use it.
So if you just built a house, or if you just bought a piece of property, or you just planted a vineyard, don't go to war until you're established. All right, 7.
And who is a man who is engaged to a woman and has not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man take her.
Sounded like a pretty good deal. I think there would be a lot less people going to war if if they haven't got their family established yet. I mean, that
Yeah.
happens all the time. Soldiers start a family and then they never make it home to see their children or their new wife or whatever.
Or they don't even start a family.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 8.
And the officers shall speak further to the people and say, Who is the man who is afraid and tender of heart? Let him go and return to his house, lest the heart of his brothers faint like his heart.
All right, we don't want any people wimping out because it might be contagious. That's what it's saying here. Like, oh, you're too weak to go? Then don't.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. All right, 9.
And it shall be when the officers have finished speaking to the people that they shall appoint commanders of the divisions to lead the people.
Okay, this is the same word as prince, and this is Sar.
Sar. Did you freeze that?
Got
Jack?
turned into Sar, which later got turned. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Man, can you hear me now?
yes.
I see my camera moving again. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anyways, it became Tsar, like the Russian. Oh boy, my internet connection's unstable.
The Russian.
How am I doing?
Well, you sound okay now.
Okay. All right. Verse 10.
When you draw near to a city to fight against it, then you shall make a call for peace to it.
So peace offering is the first step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not go to war. Let's make peace. This is the God of war. This is the deity of war. No, I don't think so. All right, 11.
And it shall be that if it accepts your call for peace and shall open to you, then all the people found in it are to be your compulsory labor and serve you.
All right, 12.
But if it does not make peace with you and shall fight against you, then you shall besiege it. And Yehovah your Elohim shall give it into your hands, and you shall strike every male in it with the edge of a sword. Wait a minute, what do you mean this isn't the God of war?
Well, if they don't accept peace, then, that's the way it's got to be. Because that was the disclaimer. First, you offer peace.
But then
You're
it
coming to
says,
war.
You're, there to be your compulsory labor and serve you. What if the people don't want to serve strangers that just come into their city?
Well, this is not you going out to the city. This is them coming after you. And so you're like, okay, you guys can like, what's the word? Give up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll be our servants. Like, that's the way of war. So it's like, either if they never show up, they never have to deal with that. But if they give up, then they can become servants to make up for, their attack.
Okay.
I lost my place.
14.
Okay, 14, sorry.
Only the women and the little ones and the livestock and all that is in the city, all its spoil you take as plunder for yourself, and you shall eat the enemy's plunder which Jehovah your Elohim gives to you. Do so to all the cities which are very far from you, which are not the cities of these nations.
Right. So we're talking about now when they go into the land to take it, which was given to them for generations. This is them crossing over the Jordan, and when you go into the cities that are far from you, that you don't wipe out everything. However, there are certain occasions where they approach certain cities where Yah's like, yeah, that city, don't leave anyone alive. So it's specific based on whatever situation it is. All right, 16.
Only of the cities of these peoples which Jehovah your Elohim gives you as an inheritance, you do not keep alive any that breathe.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, 17.
But you shall certainly put them under the ban. The Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite, as Jehovah your Elohim has commanded you.
Because those ones had been doing practices that are against the Creator and against humanity. Their crimes had gotten so, and like if you remember, he says you can't go in the land yet because they haven't gotten bad enough, right? Got to wait a little while longer, and then when they're bad enough, then you can go in and take over the land. 18.
Lest they teach you to do according to all their abominations which they have done for their mighty ones, and you sin against Jehovah your Elohim.
Yeah, and we got a little bit about that, like I don't know, like 3 or 4 chapters back, where it talks about causing their sons and daughters to pass through the fire for their deity.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. All right, 19.
When you besiege a city for a long time by fighting against it to take it, you do not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them. If you do eat of them, do not cut them down, for is the tree of the field a man to be besieged by you?
That's an interesting thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't destroy the landscape.
Yeah. Only the trees which you know are not trees for food you do destroy and cut down to build siege works against the city that is fighting against you until it falls.
So yeah, you can't cut down trees that are producing fruit. Can't cut down the good trees. All right. Sorry it was so short. I'm glad that we're getting through it because I wasn't sure if the internet was going to make it. I'm glad it did.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Aisling, Boy, Billingtano, Jason Ray, Zachary Zabala, Good Times for All, CDN, and Wes. Hold on, I'm in top chat instead of live chat. Let me refresh that and make sure. Yeah, that looks like I got everybody. Alrighty.
All right. I guess that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty self-explanatory thing. Don't have to worry much about going to war ourselves to conquer the promised land.
Right.
So,
All right.
alrighty, y'all.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study, and we hope you have a restful day and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. The earth is flat.
Yes, it is.